Yeah, sure thing. Hey, Scott. Yeah, Philip here from Stuff in Wellington. Congrats on the move to the Phoenix.
Hi
Um,
Phil, thanks very much.
yeah, the first question I had is just, I guess, how this move came about. You had mentioned in the press release that you'd actually been in contact with the Phoenix a few years back about a potential move. Yeah, so how's it going to work out this time?
Yeah, so I got in touch with an agent, Graham, who's been absolutely fantastic. And he just sort of we were in constant contact really over the course of the last sort of few months, and I obviously made it clear that this was something I wanted to do. And then just as the January sort of opened up, he got in contact with me and said, "Would you be interested in joining Wellington Phoenix?" And like I say, it nearly happened once before in the past. Didn't quite work out for a couple of different reasons, and yeah, it was this time. It was completely different. I felt it was the perfect time. I committed to it straight away. We got the contract sorted pretty much within a day, and yeah, it was a very smooth this time.
Yeah, and you've spent like your entire career in England. What's the challenge like, and I guess your excitement of going somewhere completely different, playing in Australia during summer?
Yeah, exactly that. I've always had an ambition, I think, to play abroad, to play overseas. And like I said, there's been once or twice in my career where it might have happened, but I just feel like this time is absolutely perfect for me. It's the perfect challenge. It's a fresh challenge. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of tough things I need to overcome in terms of the weather, different style of football. But one I'm hugely looking forward to, and one I think will also suit me as well.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of leaps off the CV your games for Manchester United. There's so many Manchester United fans here in New Zealand. Just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your time there, if that's okay. What was it like as a youngster making your debut for one of the biggest clubs in the world and under Sir Alex Ferguson as well?
Yeah, I think what you've said at the end there, under Alex Ferguson, is one of the biggest things, really, because obviously when you look at how the club have fared since he left, it's not been great. And listen, there's been very good young players coming through. So when I look back at that, really, I look back so fondly on it because of the man who actually who played me, gave me a chance. And I mean, obviously playing for Man United, like you say, probably the biggest club in the world, in my opinion, was such a special, amazing feeling. But I suppose at the time you're just sort of going with it. You're trying to do your best. It's probably until you come away from it, you actually realise and you think, that was a good achievement, a great achievement really at the time, and something I'll take with me forever for sure, and an experience also that I've used, and the way you're brought up there and your mentality is something I've took with me, throughout my career, and something I'll be bringing over to New Zealand as well.
Yeah, because what's it like when you look back? I guess for a lot of people, they start off at a smaller club, say in New Zealand, like you might start off at the Wellington Phoenix, and you kind of dream of that big move. Yeah, what's it like when you have? Well, that's where you kind of start. Like you start at such a massive club. Yeah, do you think that experience kind of compares to what kind of other people have experienced?
Yeah, I think it is different. I think it has many pros, but possibly also a few cons. There's players who maybe start off at lesser clubs, get in the first teams at 16, 17, and they play a lot of games and they get their experience that way. Obviously, when you're at a huge club, the likelihood is there's world-class players, well-established international players. So when you're 17, 18, you're not going to be playing in the first team every week. So that would say a slight con. But other than that, getting to train with these players, seeing how they are around the place, how they live their lives, what they eat, how they train, what they do in the gym, the mentality, their attitude, the practicing after training, taking all these things, watching it and seeing it firsthand and being involved with it was very special for me. And like I say, it's something I've took with me throughout my career.
Yeah, just a final one before I pass on, because I guess there'll be lots of as a young Phoenix team, there'll be lots of young players that will kind of turn to you for kind of advice. And what was it like for you being a youngster, having the stars that you did to kind of mentor you and yeah, for you to kind of learn off, the likes of Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, etc.
Yeah, they were great. They were all really good. And like I say, you feel so lucky at the time. Like I said earlier, you don't probably realise it, but until you come away from it and you think of the players who were there, I got to train and learn off Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic as a centre back. They were probably the best centre back pairing in world football at the time. So I would have been foolish to not pick things up and little tricks and little ways of playing. So yeah, they were all great, really. They were all very open. You could all speak to them about anything. I remember a couple of occasions having good conversations with a few of the senior players, and they were just so normal, so down to earth. They were just incredible at football. Really, is the only difference.
Cool, Scott. Glenn's having a few issues connecting audio, so I'll ask a couple of questions on his behalf.
Okay.
He was just asking whether you're nervous at all about coming to Australia, given the COVID outbreak, which is taking place at the moment, particularly in New South Wales, where the Phoenix are based.
I've not really thought about it a lot too much, to be honest. I've been more that nervous excitement, looking forward to going over and joining the team, really. The COVID situation is not something I've given a great deal of thought of, tell the truth. It's just been more because it's happened quite quick. It's just been more of an excitement of trying to, get things moving, get things done, just waiting on the visa. With regards to the COVID, obviously it's more about health and safety, really. And, as a player, you just got to follow the guidelines, do what the club and the government and people like that are saying, and just do as best we can with it.
So you're happy that you're coming to a safe environment in Sydney with the Phoenix?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. When I've spoken to the manager and when Graham, the agent, spoken to Sean, they said they're taking all measures into place. They've got the housing and all that. It's very good and all that. So, and like I say, it's you can do all the measures you want in sometimes, but you can do all the isolating, all the testing. Sometimes, if you test positive, you test positive. So sometimes there's just no getting away from it. It might be the best to just sort of deal with it and move on. And I'm not too worried about that, really.
Cool. Those are the couple of questions Glenn had. Catherine, do you have anything for Scott? Take that as a no. Phil, anything more from you? I think Tim's just recording.
Yep, I've got a few more. You crossed paths with Chris Wood, who's obviously a player. He's a bit of a legend, here in New Zealand. Is he someone who you spoke to at all about, joining a New Zealand club, and what was your season like, playing with Chris?
No, but I do plan to. I'm going to give, because the last few days have been so sort of hectic. I haven't managed to speak to him yet. I've obviously been sorting stuff out, but I do plan to speak to Chris. I actually remember speaking to him at the time when I spoke to Sean Gill previously, 5 or 6 years ago. I spoke to him then. He really recommended it, said I'd enjoy it and I'd do really well. But I do plan to speak to him again. And in terms of playing with Chris, I remember he joined quite late in pre-season. He had a couple of niggles early on that gave him a little bit of a setback, and he had a bit of a slow start. But then once he got going and he got into his rhythm, his record and his goals spoke for themselves. And then I think the following season, he obviously got his move to Burnley, which he fully deserved. And he hasn't really looked back since. He was a top player and a top lad.
Yeah, because Leeds is obviously a big club, in its own right, and is back in the Premier League now. Was it tough for you, when you had to leave Manchester United, or were you kind of excited about the chance to play a bit more somewhere else? I'm sure for everyone, you want to be at Manchester United for as long as you can.
Yeah, of course. I think when you're at Man United and you see them players, like I said earlier, it was great, but to break through and become a regular and play every week for Man United is there's no shame in not being able to do that, especially as a centre back. It's probably a centre back and goalkeeper are the two positions where the least amount of risk is taken from managers. And the summer I left, obviously the manager left, Alex Ferguson, and Moyes came in. And I just felt with the age I was 21, I'd been on loan, I'd played in the first team at United, and then the whole of the centre backs were back fit for that pre-season. So I knew that game time probably wasn't going to come for me that following season, having played in the first team the year before. So I just felt the time was right to move on. Like you say, I wanted to play regular, and when it, even though they were rivals, Leeds is still a huge club, and I played a decent amount of games at Leeds. So yeah, I wouldn't have swapped it really. It was a good experience.
Yeah, when you look back, is there one thing in particular that was a highlight? Yeah, whether it was that kind of that first game walking out to Old Trafford, where it was just rubbing shoulders with some of the players you did?
I think the highlight probably the Champions League game at home. Coming out, listening to that music, you're all, as you know, I'm sure it's like the same in Australia, but Champions League football is huge over here. You'd always watch it. The anthem before the games is such a big thing, and to be stood there alongside, the likes of, I think, Giggs, Rooney, cleverly played, De Gea played in that game I played in. Some absolute world-class legendary players. To be stood shoulder to shoulder with them, listening to that Champions League anthem, with family in the crowd is a moment that will live with me forever.
Yeah, and what are your kind of ambitions now? Still only 30, got lots of years still left in you. You're obviously making this move down to the A-League, but yeah, what do you kind of want to achieve for the next few years?
Yeah, well, I think you said it there. I'm only 30. I'm not coming to the A-League as a 36-year-old player who's past it and is coming for a holiday. I've not long turned 30. I am hungrier than ever to succeed, and the fresh challenge, and it's just given me that real fresh impetus of got that fire back in my belly. I had a difficult couple of years after leaving Leeds with a tough injury that was difficult at the time, but I'm well past that now. And I had a tough couple of years after that, but I played a lot of games in the last couple of seasons. I'm feeling good, and it's just exactly that. I want I don't want to come here till the end of the season. I want to stay for longer. I want to be a success, and I want to do as best I can. I want to help the team at the minute. Obviously, it's not I'm not in a great position right now, but I feel my strengths can really improve the team. So that's what I'm certainly aiming to do in the short term, and I want to stay long term.
Yeah, and because I see you'd played like a little bit of fullback as well, like throughout your career. Do you see yourself as mainly a centre back or someone who can kind of play both? Like, what's the go there?
Yeah, I probably had about 2 seasons really, where I was basically a right back for Leeds and Rotherham in the Championship. I had a couple of loan spells early on in my career at Nottingham Forest as well, where I was also a right back. But I feel centre back's my main position. I feel that's where my attributes really come out and show. My technical ability on the ball. I'm a talker. I'm a communicator on the pitch. They're my strengths. So I feel like they're best used in the middle of the pitch. And having spoken to the manager earlier on in the week, I feel like the Phoenix style of play will shoot me down to the ground. So I feel like centre back is my main position, but I have played right back in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, and are there any players currently in the A-League that you either kind of know or played with or against?
So David Ball, funnily enough, obviously a new teammate of mine, is also an ex-teammate of mine at Peterborough. We shared half a season together in the Championship, probably about 9 years ago now, maybe a long time ago. But no, I've played against many of the players. Played against Adam Lafondra, who's obviously at Sydney. I played against Gary Hooper when he was at Norwich. I'm a current teammate ex-teammate at Morecambe of Shaun Harrison, who spent a year at Melbourne City. He spoke very highly of her. Ross McCormack was a teammate of mine at Leeds, who again played for City. So I'm well aware of the levels, the standards of the A-League, and it's a very, very good league. It's a tough league, a technical possession-based league again, which, like I say, should suit my attributes. And that's why I'm just so excited and looking forward to the challenge so much of showing what I can do.
Yeah, and when are you due to fly to Australia?
So I believe my visa was lodged yesterday, and you probably know this more than me, but I'm meant to believe that it takes 3 to 5 working days. Then I have to apply for something else. Then I think I have to take a PCR test. So it's quite a complicated process, but I'm hoping to be there the middle to the back end of next week on the plane. So hopefully I'll be in Sydney with the team by the weekend. I would imagine that would be good.
Yeah, and I guess it's not an ideal situation that I've had a couple of games postponed due to COVID cases, but in a way for you, is it okay that you can kind of join a team and have a couple of weeks before to settle in, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's worked out well, really, from that point of view. Like you say, as much as you want to play a game straight away, I think the 2 postponement, or maybe possibly 3 with the cup game being postponed, might actually might work for me in terms of, you know, getting over the jet lag and the time difference. Obviously, I'll have to adapt to the heat. That'll be another challenge I'm looking forward to. And having that full week or maybe longer build up to the game will help me for sure. Yeah, I'm positive of that.
Cool. That's all the questions I had. So yeah, thanks for your time, Scott.
No worries, Phil. Anytime, mate.
Cheers, Scott. Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for staying up for us. We look forward to seeing you in
mate.
this part of the world.
It's only 8:30. No big deal.
That's your bedtime. Yeah.
Yeah.